Hi kids, my name is John Wolf and I am Mrs. Platt's husband, and I am also an English teacher. And I'm also going to talk to you a little about theme. Right? Now what we know is that the theme is the big idea of a story. But you can't talk about a theme without proving it. And the way you prove it when you're reading a story is you look at what happens in the story. And the two places to look are at the beginning, where you learn the problem, and at the end, where you see how the problem turned out. Because those are the two places where the author will be working to make sure you understand the theme, to make sure you understand the big idea that they're communicating about life or human nature or the world or society. So authors don't just write to entertain. A lot of times we read stories and authors write stories to say something important because they have something important inside them that they want people to understand. And this is true of stories we read today, but it's also true of fairy tales, because fairy tales and myths were the way that traditional people pass these lessons on. I think Mrs. Platt told you that to find theme, you look at the problem. And then sometimes what I would add is you also look at the ending. And a lot of times the ending will tell you what the author thinks. The problem tells you what the general topic is. The ending of the story tells you how the author feels about it. So again, let's go to a fairy tale. Let's look at Little Red Riding Hood. Now, at the beginning of the story, we have Little Red Riding Hood sent to the forest to go see her grandmother, to bring her some goodies. And her mother tells her one thing: do not talk to strangers, do not stray from the path. Now, almost immediately, what does Little Red Riding Hood do? She strays from the path and talks to strangers. That's a problem. So there, if there's a theme, it's probably something like don't disobey, or be safe, or don't talk to strangers, or don't stray from the path. And in the end, because she does this, now, we know that the story ends out well, but a lot of bad things happen before that, right? Her grandmother gets eaten, and she gets almost killed by a wolf. So probably the message there is it's not a good idea. And again, theme is the big important idea about life or about human nature or about history or about the world that the author wants to communicate.